Kia ora, Year 12 and 13. Two more equations in our review of equation solving from level 2. So pause the video and have a go at these two now. Just make sure you note what solutions are not going to be valid by looking at the denominator before you get underway. Alright, let's start with this equation. Now, even as I'm writing it out, I'm thinking about solutions that are not going to be valid. So I can never have 0 in the bottom line of a fraction, so I can't have x equal to 3, I can't have x equal to negative 1, and I can't have x equal to 3 over 2. Right? That last one's coming from the solution to this denominator equaling 0. Right, so we just make a note of that at the start, and then we're going to check when I get to the end that those three numbers are not suggested solutions. I'm going to work first with the left-hand side and get a common denominator. So I've got two factors, x minus 3 and x plus 1. Often helps to put your brackets in everywhere. And now we think about what happened to the x minus 3. Well, it got multiplied by x plus 1. So I'm going to have 1 times x plus 1. I don't need to write that one. And then I'll have, similarly, 2 times x minus 3 over the denominator. So here I'm thinking I had x plus 1 in my denominator. Now I've got x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 3. I need to do the same thing to the numerator. And we'll leave the right hand side as it is. Now expanding out the numerator, here I get x plus 1 minus 2x plus 6. Just watch out for your negative signs. And I'm going to leave the denominator like that. Now I'll clean up the numerator. So actually that's not x minus 1, that's x plus 1. There we go, x plus 1. So here I have 7 minus x over x minus 3 times x plus 1 equals 2 over 3 minus 2x. The next step is to cross multiply. I'm going to do that on a new slide, but I'm going to put brackets in around that first to make sure nothing gets left out. Okay, cross multiplying gives me this: 7 take away x times 3 minus 2x equals 2 times x minus 3, x plus 1. Next task is to expand. So here I get 21 minus 3x minus 14x plus 2x squared. And that equals 2 times x squared minus 3 plus x, so minus 2x minus 3. Right, rearranging, I get 2x squared minus 17x plus 21 equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. I can subtract 2x squared from each side, and I'll have 27 is equal to 13x. So x is equal to 27 divided by 13. Okay, now we're going to work with a more abstract problem, which is to solve this rational equation. So the simplest thing to do here is to get rid of the fraction by cross multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus b, and I'm going to multiply both sides by x minus d. So that gives me x minus a times x minus d equals x plus c times x plus b. So I now have a quadratic equals a quadratic. Let's expand and see what happens. So here we get x squared minus ax minus dx plus ad equals x squared plus cx plus bx plus bc. I can subtract x squared from both sides, and I'm going to collect up like terms. So we get negative x times a plus d plus ad is equal to x times c plus b plus BC. Now my goal here is to end up with x equals something. So I'll collect up all of the x terms onto one side. And let's see what happens there. So we're going to have negative x times a plus d minus x times c plus b. So that's the x terms sorted out onto the left hand side. Now I've got the constant terms. We want to put those all on the right hand side. So here I've got BC minus AD. So this equals negative x times A plus D plus C plus B equals BC minus AD. Now I can clean that up by timesing everything through by negative 1. I'll get x times, let's put these into a nice order, A plus B plus C plus D. Now when I multiply this by negative 1, I get AD minus BC. So my very last line, I'm going to squeeze in up the top here, right? Because I don't want to insert a new slide and waste time. So we get x equals AD minus BC divided by A plus B plus C plus D. All right, and if you're working from Mr. Vaughan's worksheet, that's the very last question in exercise A. Thanks for watching.